أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على محمد ثم السلام على آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم الأجمعين إلى يوم الدين صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي قال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه المجيد وفرقانه الحميد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم صدق الله العظيم صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. So yesterday we looked at the rituals of Muharram, or what Muharram was all about, whether it was Yomindi or Matam or Martiyas and all the rest of it. And I said that the topic for these 8 days now will be a spiritual bank, and I explained why we picked that topic up. I'd like to go over some of the things about the spiritual bank so we have it in our head. So say, for example, on your social media, and all of you have it, I hope, right? Or on your televisions, an advert came up. And the advert said that there's a bank, I'm trying to go through all of these, where no applications are rejected. It's open 24/7, and that's okay because now on internet banking it's open 24/7, 365 days. So that didn't catch your eye too much. But it would transfer across all realms, dunya to akhirah, akhirah to dunya. And he thought, well, that looks a bit interesting. The overdrafts available did not need a guarantor. It had a sole ATM, so this was available inside of yourself. No card or no password ready. Now this is the advert that came up. If you have a joint account, then you could withdraw anything you wanted. Well, you can now as well, but in essence, and I talked about my husband now, he puts the money in and I take it out, right? So this account, this spiritual bank, the nice thing about this spiritual bank is everybody can contribute towards it. So anybody from anywhere, you know how you say, please do dua for me. I'm not going to go in it. Pray 2 rakat salah, do a salawat for me. All that gets deposited into your bank. And sometimes if you're really, really, if I can say, I don't know what the word used is because it only used privileged. Maybe I should use that. If you're really privileged, you might not need to do anything. Everybody else will put duas in. You may have done everything before. Okay, go ahead. That takes a long time. That takes a lot of love. Now, you have to open an account. In any spiritual bank or any bank, you can say lots of things. But if you don't open an account, nobody's going to do anything for you. I know there was a young person at workshop, must have been 5 or 6, and he said, "Omi auntie, if I win the premium bonds," he didn't say lottery, huh? Okay. "If I win the premium bonds, I will make sure I build a big workshop for you." And I kept on saying, "That's really cool." I said, "Do you have any premium bonds?" He said, "No." I mean, you can't win them if you don't have them. In the same way, you cannot have an account in the spiritual bank if you don't open it. So today we're going to open this account. You probably all have one, but it doesn't matter. Let's start by opening it. And there's a few requirements. The first requirement is to believe, and we talked about it yesterday, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah Aliyun Waliyullah. Now the problem we have, and it's my problem as well, we just say things. If you ask any child, what is Usul? They will say, Tawheed, Adala, Nabuwa, Imama, Qiyamah. In essence, it is Tawheed and Adala go together, Nabuwa and Imama go together, and Qiyamah. But that's all they say. What is practical Tawheed? You know, Surah Al-An'am in the Quran talks about practical Tawheed. And it talks about people who made up their own rules. Now, I'm afraid we do that as well. We kind of make up our own rules. This is how it should be. So here it's the actual Tawheed, what I call literal Tawheed. The second requirement is you need to build a relationship with the owner. You need to know who the owner of this bank is. Through his managers, whom I call M14, the 14 Masumin. So we're going to go into a little bit of this. So the first thing we're going to look at is this requirement of La ilaha illallah. A statement we say all the time, right? Now he says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ. I have not created the jinn and the human being except that they should worship me. What is worship? What is this thing called worship? Many of our mufassirin say, يَعْرِفُونَ, that you must know Allah. How do I know Allah? Who is He? Is He someone? You know, there is something in the head. And it's a bit skewed. Because the God of Christianity is love, the God of Islam is God. He's going to put snakes in your grave. If you don't pray one, if your wudu is not right, oh my goodness, you're gone. He's going to squeeze the life out of you. Have you heard that? Maybe you didn't. I did. Okay, I did in Madrasa. You did, didn't you? And it was scary. It was really scary. He's not. He is actually a balance between love and discipline, like a parent. Because he wants you and me to get to our full potential. What we need to know is, who am I going to tell? Who is my God? Allah. Who is Allah? Where does the word come from? What does it mean? Now, you and I have been sitting on this first. I have at least been talking to you and your parents for about 40 years now. Okay. It's a long time. Yeah, I know. Okay. So here we go. The word Allah comes from the Arabic word al-ilah. Okay, so al and ilah. Al is a definite article. So there's only one God, so al-ilah. So let's see what ilah means. So ilah has various meanings. I'll take 3 of them at the moment. Aliha. So you can write this down if you want, or you can listen to it again. Aliha is to be in awe of someone or something. So this God that I have, whose name is Allah, we are in awe of Him. You know, you sort of see His name, you see a flower, you see anything, you think, oh my goodness. That's why you see people saying, mashallah, alhamdulillah, and all those words, right? We don't. I don't know what we say. We say OMG. That's okay too. Okay? God is in there. The second one, I said first, you're in awe of Him. The second one is, again, aliha, but aliha ila shay. If I can give you the image of a child, and there's a few children here, if a child is scared, they will run behind their mom. They will take protection from their mom. This God is one whom you take protection from when you don't know where to go. You know, moms can get tired too. They get a bit fed up as well. You know that if you continually keep on going at them, they say, go, right? I'm one of them. I have 5. Okay. So, ilah shay means he to whom you will go to when you are tired, scared, all the rest of it. And the third one comes from walaha. Now, walaha is a beautiful word. It says intense love. And in the Arabic language, walaha signifies a love between a mother and a child. You can't beat that love. Mom-child love is something you can't take away. So the 3 things that come with ilah, are you going to help me here? 1, He is awesome. 2, He is your go-to one, the one whom you go to for anything, absolutely anything. And the third one is you are intensely in love with Him, like intensely. Nothing else matters to you. Now, all the 99 attributes that we have, if you put them together, they form the word Allah. We did a book on Asma al-Husna. We did a jigsaw. And the jigsaw, when you put it together, it said Allah, but it had 99 pieces to it. Now, it's not difficult to learn those 99. And I've said this before, I repeat it again. The little kiddo came to worship, not little anymore. I think he's about 16 now. But when he was 6, he came up. In fact, it was a she, sorry. She came up and she said, oh, my auntie, I am going to Jannah. And it was a beautiful statement. I said, oh, that's nice. Can you take me with you? Now, she knew you could take 10, so she must have gone mom, dad, sisters, friends. Yeah, maybe. Okay? So I said, well, if you teach me how you are so confident in going to Jannah, maybe I can go and I can take 10 with me. After all, I've got 5 children and 9 grandchildren. I mean, that's a big crowd, right? Oh, and the husband, I forgot him. Okay, so all this you got to remember. So she said, that's easy, auntie. The book that you gave at the end of the year said at the back that if you know the 99 names of Allah, you are Ahlul Jannah. And she showed me the book, and it is a hadith of the Prophet. But for her, and she just went on and sang out. She sang all the 99 names. Now, 99 names means you live them. The Prophet said, "Takhalluqu bi akhlaqillah," adopting yourself the akhlaq of Allah. But she did it her way. So 99 attributes are good. Now, in the Quran, if you remember last year, we did some of the Asma al-Husna. Do you remember it? Remember surah number 7, ayah 180? Oh, come on. Really? You forgot. وَلِلَّهِ الْأَسْمَاءُ الْحُسْنَى فَادْعُوهُ بِهَا. Oh, it's coming back now. And for Allah are the most awesome attributes. Call Him by them. So now we're going to go and have a little. I'm not going to go through all the ayat of the Quran. So I'm going to go through some of the introductions of Allah. So I said you know Him as one who is awesome. What was the second one? One whom you go to. And the third one you intensely love Him. Now, if you look at the Quran and you ask the Quran, where do you describe Allah? Somebody came to the Prophet and said, Ya Rasulullah, what is the most awesome ayah of the Quran? What is Sayyidul Ayat? And he said, Ayatul Kursi. Now, I call it AK because it's the best way I can talk to my kids. And by the time I say Ayatul Kursi, they've lost me. So I say, have you read your A? K. I also use the word MK. Do you remember I told you about MK last year? You forgot. MK is Gujarati, which means Mari Kutine Musalman Karu. You understand that, right? That's what parents do. So AK and MK, and I say, I'm not MKing you, I need you to read AK. Alright, so you're right if I use the word AK. Okay, so let's look at Ayatul Kursi. Okay. So Ayatul Kursi is the greatest verse in the Quran. 50 words, 50 blessings. I can tell you a lot about it, but we're going to get down to the crux. The Prophet said, if you knew the spiritual benefits of Ayatul Kursi, you would recite it. And it's not those 3 ayat. It's just Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 255. 1 ayah. Okay? So he used to recite it. The Prophet used to recite it after every salah, morning and evening, and at night. Do the math. 5 plus 2 plus 1. Come on. 8 times. No magic number. Okay? He used to recite it 8 times. And Imam Ali says that he wouldn't stop reciting this particular ayah, Ayatul Kursi, the moment he heard it. So every night he would recite it. I suggest you teach it to your children. I suggest you recite it all the time, Ayatul Kursi. So let's look at Ayatul Kursi and see what it's talking about. Ayah, verse or sign. Kursi, chair. You know what kursi is? Chair. But in essence, it is the seat of divine knowledge. And if we get time today, I'm not sure whether we will get time today, but if we get time today, then we may be able to look at Alim, which is the one who knows everything. But if we don't, I want to look at the other 4 that come in Ayatul Kursi, all right? I just want to put your attention towards one who knows. He knows absolutely everything. He knows the authentic you, not the one that has filters on Instagram. Oh, you're supposed to smile a bit, right? Not the one that's worried about, oh my goodness, what are people going to say? This is the you, the authentic you. How you feel, how you think. So if he knows that when a leaf falls, he knows it. You know the ayah, don't you? You recite it for Zahra. If he knows that, do you think he doesn't know when your heart breaks? You think he doesn't know that you've done something and people are not appreciating? Do you think he doesn't know that you smiled at someone, or you swallowed your anger, or you picked up that little bit of rubbish that was on the floor? He does. He knows that. So, I mean, what's the problem? So Ayatul Kursi is talking about it. Now, what does Ayatul Kursi say? Come on, you gotta help me. Allahu la ilaha illa wal hayyul qayyum. Okay, so Allah is He. There's no God but He. He's Hayy and He's Qayyum. Now, I'm going to talk about Hayy and Qayyum because they are the origin of all the 99 names. Okay? I'll take you back to Musa. All of you have heard me, but I'll repeat again. So there's Musa, right? Red Sea. Sea in front, Bani Israel behind him, and Pharaoh at the back. And his people say, 26:61, Surah number 26, ayah 61, Inna la mudrikun. Khalas, that's it. We're gone. If we go in front, we'll be drowned. If we go at the back, we'll be killed. Either way, that's it, that's gone. And he says, Kalla, Inna ma'aya rabbi sayahdeen. Indeed, my Rabb is with me. He will guide me. That is the confidence that Allah gives. That saying, Ya Allah, gives. Now, even today, if you stood at the Red Sea with all the technology we have, or you stood at any river or any sea, it wouldn't part. Jibreel comes to him and says, Musa, hit the sea with your staff and say, Ya Allah, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. And it will split apart. And not only did it split apart, it split apart into 12 different roads. Because the Khojas would fight with the Pakistanis, and the Pakistanis would fight with the Indians, and the Indians with the Iranis, and they had 12 tribes. Sorry, I had to say that. Okay. So 12 different roads came up. Now the Prophet, still the same, the Prophet in the Battle of Badr. So you can imagine 313 against so many, right? So he's standing there, and Imam Ali says, I go to see him, and he's in Sajda. And all I can hear is, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. He said, I went back, fought, came back, hear him again, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. So I mean, it's not rocket science. That every time I'm in trouble, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, bi rahmatika astaghithu, with your mercy, help me, I'm stuck. All you have to do in your head is imagine Musa. Now let's see what it means, because there's no point going through it without knowing what it means. Hayy means the ever-living. All life comes from him. If I can say it in your language, you've got WhatsApp, right? You know the blue ticks. Some people take off the blue ticks. I've learned now. Okay, I didn't know that before. So you know the blue ticks. His blue ticks are on 24/7, 365 days a year. And when you write, he replies straight away. That is Hayy. Hayy is always there. But he says in Hadith al-Qudsi, I am what you make me to be. I am what you believe me to be. If I don't believe he can answer, he's not going to answer. And that is really, really important. Belief. Musa had belief. That's why he went to Pharaoh. Ibrahim had belief. That's why he goes to Namrud. Hussein had belief. That's why he stood against Yazid. He wouldn't stand otherwise. He knew Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum. Now let's see what Qayyum is. I'm going to split it up a bit. Qama is to stand. You stand up. Bihawlillahi wa quwwatihi aqumu wa aqud. Okay, you know that. Qa'imun is to look after someone. You all know the word qawam, right? Oh, everybody knows this ayah. Nisa 34. Al-rijalu qawwamuna 'alan nisa. We get so worked up about it. It actually means men have a responsibility towards women. Men are protectors of women. You don't have to protect him. He has to protect you. You're not responsible for him. Let me teach you something. And I'm sorry if there are any mother-in-laws there. I'm one as well. Okay. His money is your money, and your money is your money. That's basically what it means. Are you good with that? Okay, great. So that's Qawwam. Now, Qayyum is one who supports, who looks after you, who takes responsibility, and not even for a split second does he lose any sight of you. He knows exactly who you are. What comes in Ayatul Kursi? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. La ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Nawm is sleep. Sina is that little bit of eyes closing. You know that drowsiness, that beautiful drowsiness when you get into bed? Or you don't know it. You know that bit that says, I just want to get in and close my eyes. That is Sina. He doesn't have Sina or no. So now you know what Hayyul Qayyum is, right? And you're going to recite it all the time. And you're going to deposit it in your bank. So what have you deposited? Yesterday we talked about Allahumma inni as'aluka bihaqi Muhammad wa Ali wa Fatima wa Hassan wa Saints. You've deposited that. You deposited inshallah AK and Hayyul Qayyum. Now let's look at the other two Asma'ul Husna in Ayatul Kursi. What are the last ones? You can help me a little bit. Aliyul Azim. Do you know what number Aliyul Azim is? And do you know what number Hayyul Qayyum is? Oh, come on. Last year, I gave you a big sheet of paper and a book. And you're all looking at me like you're lost. And they tell me, don't repeat. If I don't repeat, how's this going to work? I have to repeat. 62 and 63. And Aliyul Azim, let's go to Aliyul Azim. Ali is easy to remember. Surah Yasin is surah number 36. Are you good with that? And 36 is Qalbul Quran, the heart of the Quran. Ali is 36. And Ali is in your heart. Are you good with that? So what number is Ali? Oh, thank God for that. Okay. So now Ali. Ali is the most high. You have Muta'ali, you have A'la. So when the ayah was revealed, Sabbihisma Rabbikal A'la, the Prophet said, Ij'al fi sujudikum. Put it in your sajda. What do you read in your sajda? Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi. At your lowest point, you are declaring the perfection of the Most High. And don't hurry up in sajda. Don't listen to those people who tell you only have to say, Subhana Rabbiyal A'la wa bihamdi, Allah, la la la. Stay there and ask. Talk to him. It's not only in the last sajda you have to talk to him. I mean, people say that only in the last sajda you have to have some du'as or something. A sajda is a place of du'a. Don't read Quran. Ask him. And by the way, just so that you know, he understands every language. Urdu, English, Gujarati, every single one. He knows all of them. So Ali is the Most High. How can I relate to it? What do you do when you pray? When you think of God, where you look? Up. So Allah is a metaphorical high. It's not like he's up there. He's everywhere. But we look up when we pray. How do you do dua? If you're a Khoja, you go like this. If you're not a Khoja, you might go like that. You know you have to reach up. You have to go up and let the rahmah flow through and give it to everyone. Hopefully you won't go like this. I'm a bit scared. Okay? I'm a Khoji, very proud of it, by the way. Okay? Right. So at your lowest, when life is really hard, you say, Ya Ali. Now our problem is that we call out Ya Ali, and that's okay too. But it's always better to say Ya Ali bihaqqi Ali. Remember that? Ya Ali bihaqqi Ali. Because the source of getting anything is always divinity. Imam Ali is a wasila. Ya Ali bihaqqi Ali. Always important to do that. Okay? So if you remember that, that'll be good. Okay, so the next one. Azim. Now, Azim is, I don't even know how to translate it. Awesome, powerful, honored, all those words you can use, okay? When this was revealed, I think Surah Al-Waqi'ah, and I can't remember the ayah number, but if I'm not mistaken, it's ayah 96. When he says, فَسَبِّحْ بِسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ. Immediately the Prophet said, اجعل في ركوعكم. Put it in your ruku. What do you say in your ruku? Subhana Rabbiyal Azim wa bihamdi. Now, if you and I don't know the origins of where things happen, how is this going to work? It's just not going to work. It really is not going to work. The first thing you and I need to know is what is Salah, where does it come from, why do I recite it in Ruku, and why do I recite it in Sujood. Inshallah, when we come to Salah, we'll talk a little bit about. Now, Azim comes from the Arabic word Azam, which means a bone. A bone, somebody who's Azim strengthens your bones, and bones are the structure of your body. Do you know, if everything, your flesh and everything goes, you've got a skeleton left, right? So you can imagine the skeleton. Now, a person who is Azim is one who provides structure to an organization. One who is there. They might not be doing anything, but they're always there, like pillars, okay? So it's really important to understand what these words mean. So what are we going to bank into our spiritual bank? Hayyul Qayyum, Aliyul Azim, Ayatul Kursi, and, oh, come on. But yeah, Yahlul Kisa. Thank you. The Panjatan. Allahumma inni as'aluka bihaqi Muhammad wa Ali wa Fatima wa Hassan wa Hussein. Okay, so that's cool. We've got that much. You got one more that you need to bank. And I don't think I've got time. Let's have a look. Okay, so the other one that you're going to bank is number 19, which is Al-Alim. You've got a little bit of time, so I'm going to just go over that one. So I said Ayatul Kursi is all about knowledge. He knows. He can see absolutely everything. Now, any words, any names of Allah that you can tell me that are associated with Alim. How do you get knowledge? Sami'ul Basir. We talked about it last year. Sami'ul Basir. Hearing and all seeing. What other ones? You know. There's Khabir as well. Khabir is one who gets all the knowledge. And in the Quran, if you look, wherever secrets are mentioned, Khabir is mentioned. You can't have any secrets. You've got no excuses. You and I cannot stand up there and say, Ya Allah, I did this because of this. He knows exactly my intention. There is no pretense. The only reason you and I are told to verbalize du'as, which we'll talk about in the next few days, we verbalize them just for ourselves. He knows. He knows exactly what's going on inside you and me. But when you and I verbalize something, we're able to know it ourselves. Half the time we don't even know our subconscious. Because he says he knows every secret. He also knows my subconscious, which sometimes I don't know myself. I'm going to go over this again so we know a little bit about what we're banking. Because normally, I don't know about you, but most people have a banking app. Do you have an app on your phone? And once in a while, we check it. Because we want to see how much money we've got. No? Or you don't check it? I do. Okay. And then I take the excuse of, maybe somebody's taken some money out, but really I want to see what's going on, right? And I want to see how much he spent as well. So stuff like that. Okay. So almost everyone has a banking app. In the same way, you now have a spiritual app that's embedded in your soul. You may have banked a lot of things over the years, but at least today you've banked a little bit more, right? What was it again? The Panjatan or the Ahlul Kisar? Ayatul Kursi, Hayyul Qayyum, Aliyul Azim, and Alim. Now, I know this is not homework and this is not a class, but it'll be good for you to have your Asma'ul Husna sheet as such from last year. If you don't, we'll try and get you some. And if you have this sheet, then you know the numbers as well. Because it's nice, it's quite nice to know what we're doing. What we're going to do tomorrow is look at the second part of the kalima, or the second part of belief, which is Muhammadur Rasulullah. We're going to look at that because we looked at La ilaha illallah. And I'm hoping that we've got some concept of Allah in our head. And he's phenomenal. And just the word Allah. You get stuck, just Ya Allah. Keep on saying it again and again and again. Somebody sent me I don't know what you call it, a reel. Is that what they call it? That's a new word for it, isn't it? A reel. And in this reel, there's this person telling you that in Ayurvedic, if you can't sleep at night, then you put your tongue onto your palate. That's what they tell you. And if you put your tongue onto your palate, not on your teeth, on your palate, for a little while, and you repeat that process a few times, you'll be able to sleep. And I'm thinking, that Prophet said, say Ya Allah at night, again and again and again. And how do you say Ya Allah? You fill your mouth, Allah. And where do you put your tongue? On top of your palate. So he's been saying it 1400 years ago, and this woman is telling me now, put my tongue on my palate, because she said when I sat on the member yesterday, I looked like I wanted to sleep. Actually, I was hot, okay? But anyway, let's try and use Ya Allah before we go to sleep, instead of counting sheep, and inshallah all will be well, okay? So just let's go to Masahib and talk about today. So you can imagine what I'm saying in this caravan of people, women, children, young people, old people, all of them going towards Karbala. They're diverted away from Kufa because that was their first place. They come to a place called Tha'laba. And sometimes history is good because if you go to Iraq, then these places sort of live in your mind because you've heard it again and again in Majalis. So when he comes to Tha'laba, he stops there. And there are some people who have come from Kufa. And he says, tell me, what happened to Muslim? How is Muslim? How is Hani ibn Urwa? And the person says, Ya Ibn Rasulullah, I think you need to sit down for what I'm going to tell you. Remember, Muslim is his cousin. He's his representative. He's his Safir. He's his ambassador. And he says, you know what? Muslim and Hani both were thrown off the Amir palace as such. They hit the ground. Their heads were chopped off. And their bodies were dragged through the streets of Kufa. In your tears, remember the children of Gaza. And mothers and the soldiers of Gaza. Okay? So they were dragged through. Imam sits down and he calls Ruqayya, who is Muslim ibn Aqil's youngest daughter. And he calls Sakina and he says, come, sit on my lap. He puts earrings on both of them. And he tells Ruqayya, Ruqayya, I am your father now. You come to me if there's anything. And she looks up and she says, what happened to my father? And he says, Ruqayya, I'm so sorry, but you are a yatim. You are an orphan. Sakina doesn't understand this. She runs to her mama and she says, Mama, what is a yatim? Because Baba was so nice to Ruqayya. And Mama says, when they snatch your earrings, when your clothes are on fire, when nobody comes to your help and you're pushed around, Sakina, that's what a yatim is. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Sayalamun alladhina zalamu ayyaman